And welcome back to Good Morning El Paso, everyone. Joining me now, usual every month, is John Fausett from the National Weather Service. Talk a little about weather, and this time we'll be talking about what a lot of people in El Paso know very well, the monsoon, which began just a few days ago. June 15th was the first official day of monsoon season.
Yeah, that was monsoon season, and the actual monsoon itself is really showing signs of trying to crank up. A lot of the impacts in our area depend on where the features of the monsoon lie, like high pressure aloft and the circulation and where the moisture works up, and so we'll be looking at that.
Right, but of course, usually here, the first part of the monsoon, usually people think about the heat, especially in the early to mid part of June, which tends to be the hottest time of the year in El Paso, where we've had already 12 triple-digit days and very little rain to show for it.
Yes, and this is pretty typical this year. We're seeing that the drier thunderstorm type activity where the moisture starts to work in around that high, but not with a vigor. So the thunderstorm bases are high up and there's a lot of evaporation of rain. You saw that a week ago with all that dust and hardly any rain.
But a lot of wind.
That's right, plenty of it. So hopefully with time, especially with this setup we're trying to get established now, you'll have the moisture working up from the south. The way it was looking, it looked like Arizona would probably benefit the greatest initially, but you know, it's just a matter of time for us. And meanwhile, we'll play with these thunderstorms off and on until we can really get that monsoon pattern fully entrenched.
Of course, and the biggest impact and actually main concern over the past few weeks with the dry thunderstorms is, of course, the lightning, which could spark wildfires, which they have in parts of southern New Mexico.
Absolutely, that continues, but there are hopes that once you get the relative humidities go on the uprise with this pattern, sooner or later, and hopefully sooner, the fire season will start to ramp down. It's been a tough one.
Yeah, it has been a tough one for sure.
Yeah.
What is the outlook from the Weather Service as far as the monsoon season this year in our neck of the woods?
Well, what we've been hearing so far is after you follow a double La Nina, 2 years in a row of La Nina, oftentimes the monsoon will be average for most of New Mexico, far west Texas, even a little above average in the southwestern part towards the boot heel, and then northeastern New Mexico maybe a little under average. So at best, maybe we can try to say average here in El Paso, but we'll take it because we definitely need the rain.
So no 2006 expected here in town?
Well, cannot say that for sure because 2006, remember, it was dry and it wasn't until well into July that it really got going. So I'm not going to say anything about that.
But hopefully we'll get something over the next few weeks, including this afternoon and even tomorrow. Get some rain going. That's
right. And if you're one of those lucky folks in the lucky spot, you'll get an early start.
All right. Hopefully it will continue on the rest of monsoon season, which ends in September.
That's right.
So a few months to go. And if you would like to see this interview in its entirety, you can always go to our website, kvia.com, for the latest. John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll have the latest on news, weather, and traffic coming up after the break.